है त। सोइल एन्ड वाटरसेड म्यानेजमेन्ट। सोइल सोइल भनेको चाहिँ सोइल ल्याटिन वर्डबाट सोलम फ्लोर अर्थात् ग्राउन्ड। सोइलको सर्फेस अफ अर्थ, अर्गानिक म्याटर एन्ड इनअर्गानिक म्याटर एन्ड हेल्प फर लिभिङ बिङ्स अर्गानिजम्स। ओके, देन अक्सफोर्ड डिक्सनरी अनुसार टप लेयर अफ द अर्थ इन विच प्लान्ट ट्री इटिसी ग्रो, है त। लेमेनको आधारमा डार्ट एन्ड अनकन्सोलिडेटेड रक भने चाहिँ सोइल हो। अब सिभिल इन्जिनियरको तर्फबाट एनी अर्थ मेटेरियल ओभर बेड रक which support foundation, road and airport runs way and built on the surface of the earth। अब meaning engineering, unwanted or rubbish materials which cover the minerals which must be quarried to रिभल ओरी। अब इकोलोजिस्टको आधारमा पार्ट अफ इन्भाइरोमेन्ट विच इज conditioned by organisms and which in turn influence the organisms। त्यसपछि कम्पोजिसन अफ सोइल। अब सोइलको कम्पोजिसनहरू मिनरल म्याटर 40-45%, अर्गानिक म्याटर 5%, त्यसपछि सोइल वाटर 25% र सोइल एयर 25% रहेको छ। त्यसपछि पेडोलोजी नेचुरल बडी अन द फर्मेसन, मोर्फोलोजी क्लासिफिकेसन, फर्मेसन मोर्फोलोजी एन्ड क्लासिफिकेसन और स्टडी अफ द सोइल प्रोफाइल और सोलोम इन इट्स नेचुरल सेटिङ एन्ड distribution pattern of soil worldwide that have developed along with broad landform, biogeochemical environment and habitat of living organisms of soil is bodied within the natural landscapes। Then इडाफोलोजी भनेको चाहिँ is concerned with the influence of soil and as a medium of growth for living things। Edaphology is concerned with the influence of soil as medium of growth for living things। And soil function medium for plant growth, provide nutrition, it store and supply nutrition to plant, regulator of water supply, water holding tank, it absorb and store the moisture for later use, recycle or materials decomposition। Okay, then habitat for organism, landscape and engineering medium। Soil are the basics material for road, house building and other structure, create healthy environment, carbon fixation। Okay, soil texture, a physical properties of the soil referring to the relative percentage of sand, silt and clay। soil texture भनेपछि a physical properties of the soil referring to the relative percentage of sand, silt and clay। Okay, dimension of soil texture sand, silt and clay। USDA and ISSS USDA को अनुसार एडोप्टेड इन नेपाल। sand अब फर्स्टमा छ क्ले less than 0.002 mm, silt 0.05 to 0.002 mm and sand 0.05 mm to 2 and ISSS less than 0.002, 0.002 to 0.002, 0.0222 and it's a classification of sand by USDA। okay, USDA के अनुसार GBC MFV gravel, very coarse sand, medium sand, fine sand, very fine sand। fine sand, medium sand, coarse sand, very coarse sand, gravel. Very fine sand 0.10 to 0.05, 0.25 to 0.10 mm, 0.50 to 0.25, 0.50 to 1 to 2 mm, and gravel more than 2 mm. Gravel more than 2 mm, very coarse sand 2 to 1 mm, and coarse sand 1 to 0.5 mm, medium sand 0.5 to 0.25 mm, fine sand 0.25 to 0.1 mm, and very fine sand 0.10 to 0.05 mm. Properties of soil particles and size. Okay, soil properties. Okay, सोइल प्रपर्टिज सैंड सिल एंड क्ले पोरोसिटी को एरिएशन को आधार में एलएमपी सैंड सिल एंड क्ले लार्ज मीडियम र पोर एलएमपी पर्मिएबिलिटी को आरएमएस रैपिड मोडरेट र स्लो वाटर होल्डिंग कैपेसिटी एलएमएल लिमिटेड मीडियम भेरी लार्ज सोइल पार्टिकल साइज एसएमएल स्मॉल मीडियम एंड भेरी लार्ज and drainage EGP excellent, good and poor, nutrient or medium mineral holding capacity low, medium and high, LMH workability tillage easy, medium and difficult. Then soil color and properties BLR BYG BLRBYG धन ड्रेनेज वाटर होल्डिङ क्यापासिटी वाटर होल्डिङ अर्गानिक म्याटर र नाइट्रोजन ग्यास ड्रेनेज ब्ल्याक लाइट रेड ब्राउन येलो एन्ड ग्रे ब्लू ब्ल्याकमा ड्रेनेज स्लो एन्ड वाटर होल्डिङ मिडियम एन्ड अर्गानिक म्याटर हाई एन्ड नाइट्रोजन ग्यास मिडियम ब्ल्याकमा है त। त्यसपछि लाइट ग्रेमा ड्रेनेज ओइल वाटर होल्डिङ लो अर्गानिक लो नाइट्रोजन ग्यास लो एन्ड यसलाई भन्छ WLL एन्ड SMHM ओके ब्ल्याकमा। अनि रेडमा ड्रेनेज ओइल मोडरेट एन्ड वाटर होल्डिङ लो organic matter medium nitrogen gas low WLML and brown drainage moderate water holding low organic matter medium to high nitrogen gas low ML and yellow drainage loss oil water holding low medium organic matter medium low nitrogen gas low medium and gray blue poorly drainage poorly water holding high organic matter low nitrogen gas high PHLH gray blue ma and soil properties okay soil properties को कुरा आयो soil profile मा चाहिँ A soil profile is a vertical cross section of a soil. It is divided into a number of distinct layer referred to as horizon. OAE BCR O humus or organic matter, organic decomposing leaves and lots of organic matter. A topsoil contain lots of root mineral for growing plant. E for elevated layer or exit layer, material mineral organic matter and clay exit the soil profile. Subsoil and B subsoil mineral from upper horizon stuff here. C parent materials earth surface that soils developed from sea horizon. Parent material R bedrocks. Okay, अनि factor of soil formation F Cl ORPT. Okay, Cl climate and environment, organic organisms, biota, relief and topography. Parent material time, age of the soil, absolute period of soil formation. Okay, and soil order of Nepal. AMIS, EAMIS, AMIS, inti soil, very young with little profile development, form on fresh alluvial deposit or actively eroded rocks. And two, suborder Fluentra earthent is inti soil. And Alphisol, Alphisol also develop in humid and subhumid climate, have average annual precipitation 500 to 1300 mm, and they are frequently under forest vegetation. And light color surface horizon, and accumulation of clay in subsoil. Okay, accumulation of clay in subsoil, very erodible, often known as rato mato. Okay, weak acidic surface horizon, sandy loam to loam. Surface horizon is sandy loam to loam. Subsoils silt loam to clay. Subsoil is silt loam to clay. And found from Tarai to middle. Okay, found from Tarai to middle. And M mollisol, dark base rich top and much organic matter. Dark base rich soil and much organic matter. Mollisol, high pH 6.5 to high pH, under Surya Ravasta, forest in Tarai, and grassland or calcareous rocks at higher elevation. Okay, calcareous rocks in higher elevation मा mollisol हुन्छ. Ustols, suborder of Hablostol. Okay, Ustol suborder of Hablostol, grade group, represent what? Most soil of this order of Nepal. Mollisol represent most soil order in Nepal. Okay, and insectisol, young soil where profile development is more advanced. Young soil where profile development is advanced. Okay, and some leaching of topsoil. Okay, some leaching of topsoil and mark accumulation of clay or oxide due to leaching. Okay, accumulation of clay or oxide due to leaching. Two suborder. Okay, orchrept and ombrept. ORCHREPT, observed and ombrept. Okay, is insectisols and spodosol, rich in iron and organic matter, leaching from surface layer to subsoil. Rich in iron and organic matter, leached from surface layer to subsoils. Strong reddish to blackish subsoil. Okay, strong चाहिँ reddish to blackish subsoil, found in stable landscape above 3000 मिटर. ओके, कोनिफेरस डोमिनेन्स एरियामा चाहिँ स्पोडोसोल पाउँछ. फाउन्ड इन लो पार्ट अफ माउन्टेन, लोयर पार्ट अफ माउन्टेन एन्ड टप पार्ट अफ हिल, हाई हिल. ओके, एभरेस्ट एन्ड टामो रिभरमा पाउँछ. सोइल अफ नेपाल GASARG, गा सार्ग. ओके, soil have been classified on the basis of soil texture. Okay, soil texture, mode of transportation and color. Gravelly soil, the foot of Chure hills has soil of mix gravel and pebbles. Okay, gravel and pebbles. This soil is not useful for agriculture. Okay, agriculture को लागि त्यो ग्रेभली सोइल युज हुँदैन. It has it has a very coarse texture. Okay, योसँग के हुन्छ, very coarse textures and cannot hold sufficient moisture for plant growth is gravelly soil. Such soil were deposited by river originating in the Chure hills and have a high lime content. Some soil in high mountain area are also coarse texture soil gravel. Okay, and alluvial soil. Alluvial soil is found in the valley of the Tarai region. Okay, and in the middle hill valley around Kathmandu and Pokhara. Alluvial soil valley lies between Siwa Lake and Mahabharat hill to form flat fertile valley called Doon valley. In the inner Tarai, okay, the major Doon valley are the Dang, Devkhuri, Surkhet, Chittaun, Kamal and Trijuga. Okay, and new alluvial soil but with more sand and silt than clay. Okay, new alluvial soil but with more sand and silt than clay is being deposited in the floodplain area along the river course. The nutrient content of new alluvial soil is fair to medium depending on how long they have been cultivated. Okay, the nutrient content of old alluvial is very low. Sandy and alluvial soil valley in mid hill of Kathmandu Pokhara has sandy and silty alluvial soils which is fertile soil. Okay, in the Kathmandu valley some deposited of peat mere kumero have been found. This is diatomaceous clay. Okay, kumero is diatomaceous clay which is used for painting house walls during festival in rural area. In addition, the Kathmandu valley is a source of silty clay kalimati soil which is obtained from deep underground pit and is used as manure mainly for potato and other vegetable crops. Okay, this soil is rich in humus as well as, okay, potash, humus and potash, and has a small amount of calcium. Okay, and then residual soils. This type of soil is found mostly in the ridge and slope of mountain. Ridge and slope of mountain soil of Chure hills are very young and coarse and are dry for most of the year, and soil on the slope of mid hill are medium to low in plant nutrition but less productive due to moisture and climatic limitation. And glacial soils, these soils found in high mountain region. Okay, high mountain region are mostly rocky, they are covered with snow most of the time. Okay, and land capability classification. Land capability is an inherent capacity of land perform at a given level for general use. Okay, land resource mapping project LRMP 1986 has adopted land system approach land capability classification of Nepal. Okay, applying this approach, 17 land system were okay 17 land system were described, which 5 geographic region: Tarai 1 to 3, Siwalik 4 to 8, Mid Hill 9 to 12, High Mountain 13 to 15, High Himal 16 to 17. Okay, and class I, there are um, there are 9 classes. Okay, class I nearly slopes 1% to 1% सम्म चाहिँ स्लोप 1 डिग्रीसम्म स्लोप भएको एन्ड सोइल आर डिप हुनु पर्यो. दे हेभ फ्यु लिमिटेसन फर एरेबल एग्रिकल्चर, थोरै लिमिटेसन हुन्छ फर एरेबल एग्रिकल्चर. जेन्टली स्लोप 1 to 5 degree and soil are deep and oil drain. Tracing and contouring necessary to control erosion when used for arable agriculture. And 3, moderate to strongly slope. Okay, 5 to 30 degree and soil are 50 to 100 centimeter deep. Okay, and oil drain. Tracing is mandatory to control erosion when used for arable agriculture. Okay, I vichar, soil are more than 20 centimeter deeps and oil to imperfectly drain. Oil to imperfectly drain on land which are either too steep more than 30 degree to be traced or cultivated, or they are above the altitudinal limit of arable agriculture, suitable for fuel and fodder productions. Forestry and grazing provided a good permanent vegetatives cover is maintained to minimize erosion. Okay, and B, 5 मा soil more than 20 centimeter deep and slope are less than 30 degree, or land which are either alpine above tree line or floodplain, they are frequently flooded. Okay, this land are suitable for grazing. And I will char, this land includes area which slopes of 40 to 50 degree and or gently slope which soils less than 20 centimeter deeps. These land are vegetated and are best suited to watershed protection, wildlife conservation and recreation and tourism. 7 मा छ, these classes include rock and ice. Okay, it is suitable for use such as tourism because or its scenic value or recreation. Okay, 8, soil are landform in class 8 have a limitation and hazard that prevent their use for cultivated crops, pasture, range or woodland. They may be used for recreation and wildlife. Okay, and 9, wildlife or watershed protection. Okay, low or no economic potential for plant production, moderate to several erosion hazard, or need for conservation measures, slightly or no limitation or risk of soil damage if soil depth and or rockiness or limiting factor, or moderate or high limitation and moderate risk of soil damage if soil depth and or rockiness are not limiting factor. Okay, land resource mapping project scales 1:1508. 50,000, sorry, 1 is to 50,000. And proportion of land in Nepal by capability classes. Okay. And I एकमा 10, proportion of land in percentage 10, 2 मा 4, 3 मा 13 17, 4 मा 35, 5 मा 4, 6 मा 22, 7 मा 7, and rock, ice and unclassified 1. Okay. Soil erosion. Soil erosion is process of detaching the soil particles from the land surface of one place and is its transportation to another place for deposition. Detachment, transportation and deposition. Water erosion. Okay, water erosion. We are going to read water removes the soil by falling on its raindrops as well as by its surface flow actions. It may be of three types. Okay, splash erosion, sheet erosion and rill erosion. And for gully, splash erosion, when raindrops fall on the soil surface, the force which which they strike the soil surface cause of splash, which carry water and soil particles into the air after detachment. Okay. Sheet erosion, the removed soil is like a thin covering from large area. This sheet is more or less uniform. Rate of rainfall is more rate of infiltration. त्यति बेला rate of rainfall बढी हुन्छ, rate of infiltration भन्दा त्यति बेला चाहिँ sheet erosion. And rill erosion, the removal of soil by concentrated water flow from small but well defined channel is called rill erosion. The removal of soil by concentrated water flow from small but well defined channel is called rill erosion. The depth of the rill is less than 30 centimeter. Gully erosion, when many rills joins together and gain more than 30 centimeter depth, gullies, that is known as gully erosion. Size of gully, small gully. Okay, small gully depth up to 3 feet, medium gully depth 3 to 15 feet, and large gully more than 15 feet. Gully can be seen as U shape, V shape and UV shapes. V shape gully, when the subsoil is not easily erodable as surface soil, the V shape occurs. U shape gully, when subsoil or surface soil is easily erodible, U shape gully is formed. Okay. Wind erosion. Okay, wind erosion, it may be defined as the transportation of soil particles from one place to another place by wind. Okay, the major factor affecting soil erosion by wind are climate, soil and vegetative cover. Climate, soil and vegetative cover is most influence factor affecting erosion by wind. Okay, wind erosion may be serious under the dry condition without the vegetation cover. Wind erosion seen in Mustang and Monang district of Nepal. Mustang and Monang districtमा wind erosion भेटिन्छ. And suspension, saltation and surface creep. Suspension, efflation, efflation, suspension. Saltation, effluxion, saltation. Surface creeps, extrusion is surface creeps. Suspension, very fine soil particles mainly less than 1 mm in diameter are moved in suspension by wind. Okay, saltation, it is the movement of soil particles of 0.1 to 0.5 mm in diameter by wind in a series of bounds or jump over the surface. Surface creeps, it is the rolling or sliding of soil particles ranging from 0.5 to 0.2 mm in diameter along the surface of the ground, pushed by the force of wind and other particles moving with the wind. Okay, look at this wind, and creeps is rolling through this ground, and saltation just move through the air. Okay, suspension very high. Soil loss prediction model. Okay, A is equal to RKLSCP. Wismeyer and Smith, WISHMEIR and SMITH, in 1965 developed USLE, Universal Soil Loss Equation, as an erosion prediction model for estimation the long time average of soil loss from specific land in a specific cropping and management systems. The equation predict only the losses from seed and real erosion under a specific condition. A is equal to RKLSCP. Okay, average annual soil loss equation ton per hectare are rainfall erosivity factor, ability of rainfall to erode the soil particles from unprotected field, K soil erodibility factor, L length of slope factor, S steepness of slope factor, C crop cover and management factor, P and P is conservation practice factor. Main defect of USLE: data divides on the basis of American condition. Okay, that is the main defect. Okay, erosivity. Erosivity is the capacity of rain to produce erosion. Okay, capacity of rain to produce erosion is erosivity. Erodibility is the susceptibility of soil to erode. Okay, and land annual soil loss ton per hectare. Well managed forest land 5 to 10 ton per hectare. Well managed rice terrace 5 to 15. Poorly managed slope terrace to 20 to 100 ton per hectare. Degraded rangeland 100 to 200 ton per hectare. Okay, the soil loss rate is the effect of slopes, soil type, land cover type, farming system and rainfall. The soil loss rate from the gentle slope below 20% agricultural land is well below 5 tons per hectare. Okay, and affected land area of Nepal. Water erosion affected area million per hectare, 6 to 7 million per hectare water erosion बाट affected percent total land area of Nepal 45.4%. Wind erosion 0.6 million per hectare. Chemical deterioration 0.3. Physical deterioration 0.2 million per hectare. Okay, and percentage is wind erosion 4%, chemical deterioration 1.7%, physical deterioration 1.3%. Okay, President Chure Tarai Madhesh Conservation and Development Board established 1971 असार 23 2014 7 महिना 7 गते. Okay, Chure known as Shivalik and Sub Himalaya, situated parallelly along the south of the Himalaya range of Nepal, located 36 district of Nepal, covering 12.78% land area of Nepal. Okay, and it width varies from 10 kilometers to 50 kilometers north south with the and the elevation of Chure Hills range from 120 near Baralgaon in the Thelia BDC of Saptari district to 1972 meter 1972 meter in Basuko Hill in the Sahajpur BDC of Kailali district. Total area 18 1892.263 hectare, 1892.263 hectare, and forest land 72.7 72.3%, ते 13 74 3 hectare, and other wooded land 22,672 hectare, 1.19%. Other land 51 50 18 48 hectare, 26.44%. Protected area 18%, buffer zone 6%. Okay, and forest cover district 27 district में forest cover, and forest cover increase 9 district में maximum area of Sure province 7 में है त. And soil conservation, it is the proper land use, protecting land against all forms of soil deterioration, rebuilding eroded and depleted soil, conservation of moisture for crops use, proper agriculture drainage and irrigation where needed, and increase yield and farm incomes all at the same time. Soil conservation method, mechanical method and bioengineering method. Okay, mechanical method, first must check dam. Okay, check dam. Hydrology Greek word water, hydro water, and logos story, and it means the science of water, science that deals with the OCD, occurrence, circulation, and distribution of water of the earth and earth atmosphere. Hydrological cycle is the combination of all possible waterway between the atmosphere, lithosphere, biosphere, and hydrosphere, in addition to respective ways within each sphere. The water in earth circulates from the hydrosphere to atmosphere and then to the lithosphere due to solar energy. And we can see this. And water budget, input minus output is equals to change in storage. Input, inflow of water to the system, and outflow of water from the system. Precipitation, condensed water vapor that falls to the earth surface. Most precipitation occurs as rain, but also include snow, hail, fog drop, graupels, and sleet. Precipitation measures either cm, and inches. Form of precipitation, and drizzle less than 0.5 mm, rain 0.5 to 6 mm, hailstone more than 8 mm. And rainfall को चाहिँ intensity type, light rainfall, rain, moderate and heavy. Light trace to 2.5 mm per hour, moderate 2.5 mm to 7.5 mm per hour, more than 7.5 mm each per hour is heavy soil. Condensation, the transformation of water vapor to liquid water droplet in the air, creating cloud and fogs. Sublimation, the state change directly from solid water, snow or ice to water vapor. Deposition, also known as dissublimation, and it is a thermodynamic process of phase transition in which gas vapor transform into solid ice. And evaporation, the transformation of water from liquid to gas phase, and it move from the ground or body of water into the overlying atmosphere. Transpiration, the release of water vapor from plant. Water vapor is a big that cannot be seen. Infiltration, soil ability to allow water movement into and through the soil profile. Percolation, water flow horizontally through the soil and rock under the influence of gravity. Surface runoff, flow of water occurring on the ground surface. It happens when precipitation exceeds soil infiltration. Lysometer, evapotranspiration measurement. Interception, okay, interception has two flow significance. It changes the amount of precipitation reaching to the ground and the distribution of precipitation over the soil surface. Okay, there are two main type of interception: canopy and litter. Interception canopy, it is the fraction of precipitation that is held temporary prior to evaporation by leaves, limbs and streams. Little interception, it is the fraction of precipitation that is held by dead organic material at first for a floor. This interception loss by vegetation is very important in reducing runoff. Rainfall interception by vegetation cover. Forestry varies from 12% eucalyptus hybrid to 38% सूर्य रबस्ता. And rainfall interception by leaf litter अनुसार चाहिँ अब 5.6% डेन्ड्रोक्यालामस स्ट्रिक्स and 9.1% सूर्य रबस्ता. And watershed, a watershed is an area of land that collect the water that falls in within its boundaries and direct into the common outlet. The piece of land is shedding water to a single point. A watershed is a precipitation collector. Okay, look at watershed: micro watershed, sub watershed and basin, a large land with a number of watershed. And sub watershed, a second smallest watershed forming with two or more than two micro watershed. It is the working unit of watershed in Nepal. वर्किङ युनिट अफ वाटरसेड भनेको चाहिँ माइक्रो सब वाटरसेड है त. अनि माइक्रो वाटरसेड भने स्मलेस्ट वाटरसेड. क्लासिफिकेसन अफ वाटरसेड: माइक्रो अप टु 1 स्क्वायर किलोमिटर, सब वाटरसेड 1 to 10, watershed 10 to 100, सब बेसिन 100 to 1000, बेसिन 1000 to 10,000. वर्ल्ड बैंक 2008 को अनुसार. हिस्ट्री अफ वाटरसेड चाहिँ 1974 डिपार्टमेन्ट अफ सोइल एन्ड वाटर कन्जर्भेसन and 1980s renamed Department of Soil Conservation and Water Management. 1982 Soil and Water Conservation Act. 85 Soil and Water Conservation Regulation. 88 MPFS recognized sustain soil conservation and watershed management as primary program of forest. Present is basin average. Okay, and watershed can be delineated by using toposheet, cadastral map and aerial photographs. Okay, and watershed management past top down approach. Okay, and watershed management present is bottom up approach. And important of river basin of Nepal: three river basin Kosi, Gandaki and Karnali. Coverage Kanchenjunga Langtang Dhaulagiri Basimal. Length 720 कोसी 338 र 507 and run up 1564 1713 1713 र 1316. Electricity production 22 megawatt 22,000 megawatt and 21,000 megawatt Gandaki and 32,000 Karnali. And drainage 33,000 कोसी 26,000 गण्डकी and 49,000 कर्णाली. Tributaries तमोर अरुण दुधकोशी लिखु तमकोशी सुनकोशी and इन्द्रावती. and त्यसपछि के छ अर्कोको काली गण्डकी बुद्धि गण्डकी मर्स्याङ्दी सेती मादी दरौदी and त्रिशुली. अनि त्यसपछि सानोबेरी ठुलोबेरी बुलु कर्णाली तिला भिदी गङ्गा and सेती. Okay, largest tributaries अरुण त्यसपछि काली गण्डकी र हुम्ला कर्णाली. Also called largest river, deepest river or longest river. नेपालमा दामोदर इन्डियामा चाहिँ दामोदर भनिन्छ कोलाई कोसीलाई गण्डकीलाई गण्डक र कर्णालीलाई घाग्रा. Rapid fire the unit of watershed is watershed. A management system of watershed by which natural, agriculture and human resources are manipulated to achieve objective is integrated watershed management. A measure of the amount of branching in a drainage system is stream order. The ratio of number of stream of the stream order to the same in the next higher order is bifurcation ratio. The theoretical minimum possible value of bifurcation ratio of drainage is minimum 2, and the change of C type of erosion being with rate of runoff ठुलो हुन्छ rate of infiltration भन्दा. And the causative factor for the process known to be soil creep is gravity. And the land degradation process which is most prevalent in Nepal is waterlogging. The rough estimate of area affected by the flood of Nepal is now 90,100 square kilometer. The area affected by waterlogged during monsoon is in Nepal is about 7,000 square kilometer. The very fast classification of forest cover type of Nepal by LRMP divided the cover type into following number of categories 4. And the most damaging natural hazard of Nepal by magnitude of life lost is epidemic. And the interception amount of rainfall by vegetation range between the following of the total is 12 देखि 38% 38%. The amount of rainfall with respect to total rainfall intercepted by leaf litter of forest floor is 6 to 9%. A landslide in which a block or of rock that tilt, rotate on a pivot and then separate from main mass is topless. The slope limit for the grass waterway is 10 to 18%. And LB the service life of soil conservation structure. TB the flood return period in year, and the probability of risk that a flood occur percent in is given by 1 minus 1 power 1 by 2 को power L 1 minus 1 by T को power L into 100. The minimum thickness of Gabion check dam at spillway is 1. The base width of narrow base ridge type terrace is 1.2 meter to 2.4 meter. Rapid colonizer of land of subtropical region of Nepal is Elder, an abrupt movement of the slope material that separate from steep slope of cliff falls. Shape of gullies form in soil with very resistant subsoil is trapezoidal. The perceptible downward sliding or falling of mass of earth, rock or minimum of the two order under the influence of gravity is landslide. And the most common use empirical formula for discharge measurement is Manning-Chesi formula. An expression of quantity of water through various individual path of the hydrological cycle is hydrological equation. And lysimeter is an instrument set up to measure evaporation. The process of entry of water through the surface is infiltration. The maximum rate at which specified soil is given condition can be absorbed water is in infiltration capacity. The order of soil, its classification and its distribution are subjective matter of pedology. The inherent capacity of soil to supply nutrient to plant is fertility. The ratio of clay silt and sand for an ideal loam texture classes should be 1:1:1. The source of energy for hydrological cycle is sun. For a given constant, the equation mass inflow minus mass outflow equal change in mass storage for water is a symbolic expression of water budget equation. In interflow component of hydrological cycle is due to the process infiltration. And geology of Nepal. The Nepal Himalaya had divided into 5 distinct tectonic units separated by major thrust fault. For north to south, they are the South Tibetan Detachment System, the main central detachment system, the main boundary thrust, and the main frontal thrust, respectively. Among them, South Tibetan Detachment System is a long angle, narrow fault, and the all other are reverse fault. This structure divided the Nepali Himalaya into 5 major tectonic units. South main frontal thrust separate Tarai and Siwalik. Main boundary thrust between Siwalik and Lesser Himalayan. Main central thrust between Lesser Himalayan and High Himalayan. South Tibetan Detachment System High Himalayan lies between the main central thrust on the south and the South Tibetan Detachment System the north. Okay, rapid fire. The most common type of rock of Nepal is granite and gneiss, limestone and त्यसपछि 3 shells, quartzite and phyllite, and 4 alluvial and conglomerate. The massive coarse granite igneous rocks containing high proportion of quartzite are granite and gneiss. Okay, granite and gneiss are generally occurring in Himalayan zone and Mahabharat zone. The soil produced from granite and gneiss tend to be strongly acidic. Sedimentary rocks consisting mainly of calcium carbonate, also known as limestone. The main occurrence of limestone are northwest, particularly in Annapurna and Dhaulagiri massif. Limestone have usually pH high. Okay, and a common type of phyllite in Nepal is chlorite and phyllite, greenish in color, slate like rock with much flaky mica called phyllite, which rocks are found as almost continuous in south belt of the countries. Sandstone and conglomerate, unconsolidated material deposited by river and is mostly found in the Tarais alluvial. Main alluvial soil in the country are in alkali Soil taxonomy distinguishes has a hierarchy of 6 categories of what were the order, suborder, grade group, subgroup, and family and series. The most common soil order in Nepal is anti-soil, insecti, moli, olfi, and spody. The very young soil with little profile development on fresh alluvial deposit or on actively eroding rock is called order anti-soil. And under soil order anti-soil two suborder are known to be exist. What are they? Suborder fluent and suborder earthen. The young soil in which profile development is more advanced than it in soil is known as soil order insectisoil. Which soil order is categorized with some leaching of the topsoil and weathering of subsoil is insectisoil. Soil order insectisoil has been divided into suborder ocerapt and umbrapt. Okay, and and the soil order having a dark base rich topsoil containing much organic matter and a high pH 6.5 भन्दा बढी छ भनेपछि मोली सोल. Which soil is formed sporadically in soil अवस्था मोली सोल. Molly soil is fall into the grade group Haplu stole. Molly soil fall into the subgroup Uz stole. The soil which usually have a light colored surface horizon and an accumulation of more clay in the subsoil is alphisol. Which subsoil order is also known as Ratamata alphisol. Alphisol are weakly acid. Alphisol are mostly found to be Tarai to Middle Mount Hill and the soil which iron organic matter are leached from the surface soil layer and deposited in the subsoil to form strong reddish blackish layer is known as spodosol. And daughter soil are found in the stable landscapes above 3000 meter altitude where conifer are dominant. Spodosol, which species growing seasonally well or almost any type of soil except on the very poorest one is Pinus roxburghi. The main classes of soil according to their texture are sand, silt and loam. Sand, silt and loam. Okay. Intermediate class of soil class is sand, clay, loam. Particles more than 2 mm in diameter are classified as gravel. Disregarded in texture classification. Sand has the diameter of 2 to 0.05 mm. Silt 0.05 to 0.002 mm. Clay less than 0.002 mm. And which is called the most important and permanent soil character, soil texture. The soil acidity or alkalinity is expressed in the term of pH. The soil pH value generally 3 to 10. What affect the soil pH? The parent material, the climate and biological activity. Which species are found to tolerate a wide range of pH? Pinus wallacei and Pinus roxburghi wide pH tolerate गर्छ. Okay. And the 3 macronutrient needed in the largest quality are NPK. 2 soil known as young soil are termed as insecti and inti. Which soil is known as the old soil? Olfi. Olfi soil is known as the forest harvesting and utilization. Forest utilization is defined as the process of harvesting, conversion and disposal of outstanding products of forest. It includes filling of forest crops, transportation to market, their manufacture into various usable goods and distribution of their ultimate use. The main branches of forest utilization is filling, conversion, extraction and transportation. and storage of marketing. Okay, storage of marketing. Properties of wood derivative, drive product, wood improvement and use of wood. Wood structure, gross structure of wood. Structure feature of wood that can be seen with the unaided eye is known as gross structure of wood. Medullary annual rings, pith or medulla, hardwood, sapwood, cambium, bast and bark. The tree trunk showing growth ring. Pith, okay. Subcentral mass of tissue, dead and non-functional. Sapwood, long color portion of wood with young growth ring. Function, food storage and conduction of sap. Sal tree has reddish sapwood. साल ट्रीसँग चाहिँ ऱ्याडिस स्यापवुड हुँदो रहेछ. Sapwood is prone to fungal attack but hardwood. Discoloration is sapwood is caused by some fungi known as sabestation. This does not affect the strength of the timber. Okay, and hardwood. The central deep colored part of plant mainly form of dead cell and mainly does the mechanical function. More durable due to presence of chemical deposits such as gum, resin and oil, which is toxic to fungi, insect and act as natural preservatives. 4 मा bark. It is a diagnosis value in identification of tree and logs, spring wood, early wood and summer wood, autumn wood. Spring wood, early wood and summer or autumn wood, late wood. Okay, spring early, summer or autumn late. There are two distinct growth season in temperate region, spring र summer. Okay, टेम्परेट रिजनमा चाहिँ स्प्रिङ र समर चाहिँ ग्रोथ सिजन चाहिँ. स्प्रिङ वुड, अर्ली वुड. ऱ्यापिड ग्रोथ टेक्स प्लेस इन द फर्म अफ थिन वाल सेल. स्प्रिङ वुड आर जनरली लाइट इन कलर एन्ड पार्ट नियर रिङ contain large number of pore or vessel and usually soften. Summer wood, autumn, late, thick wall, deep color and smaller number of pores. Growth ring, the concentric ring which usually represent the wood formed during our growing season, and the vary in width of annual rings for fast growing species is 5 to 25 mm. Width of annual rings 5 to 25 mm. In slow growing species 8 ring or more per centimeter. Okay, per centimeter ma 8 rings or more. The greater the difference between the late wood and early wood, the more prominent is the great growth ring. The annual ring can be seen primarily in temperate species. Okay, minor structure of wood. Basal or pores structure, basal and pores, trachea, fiber and parenchyma. यसमा चाहिँ अब बेसल एन्ड पोर. सफ्ट वुडमा चाहिँ नो पोरस. ओके, हार्डवुडमा प्रेजेन्ट. अनि भेसल एन्ड पोर्सको काम चाहिँ भर्टिकल सेरिज अफ सेल विथ ओपन इन्डेड ट्युबुलर लङ्गिट्युडनल. ओके, conduct sap from the soil and root to the ground. Tracheid present make up nearly all woody tissue. सफ्टवुडमा प्रेजेन्ट हुन्छ ट्राकी र हार्डवुडमा हुँदैन. मेन लङ्गिट्युडनल एलिमेन्ट लङ एन्ड पोइन्टेड. Okay. Function: provide rigidity to the tree and conduct sap from the soil and root to the ground. Fiber: no softwoodमा no hardwoodमा present. Fiber: vertically aligned, narrow, elongated and thick wall shell with pointed tapering end. Okay. Mechanical support to the tree gives rise to varese pattern. Parenchyma. Okay. प्रेजेन्ट हुन्छ प्यारेन्काइमा र स्मल हुन्छ र यसमा चाहिँ पनि प्रेजेन्ट हुन्छ। प्यारेन्काइमा सर्ट रेक्ट्याङ्गुलर अर ब्रेकिस सेप्ड सेल विथ कम्प्यारेटिभली थिन वाल एन्ड सिम्पल पिथ, स्ट्रङ एन्ड कन्डक्सन अफ फुड मेटेरियल। ओके। टाइलोसिस भने के हो? दे आर फोम लाइक स्ट्रक्चर often entirely filling up the pore cavity. Characteristic feature of hardwood, through occasionally found in sapwood also. Tyloses are indicatives of durability of timber. Greater the presence of tyloses and the greater in difficulty in impregnation of wood. Okay. Then knot. Okay. एन्ड ग्रेन भनेको छ, यसको बारेमा चाहिँ हेर्ने स्ट्रेट ग्रेन, क्रस ग्रेन, स्पाइरल ग्रेन, इन्टरलक ग्रेन, वेभी एन्ड इरेगुलर ग्रेन भयो। अब टेक्स्चरमा पनि फाइन टेक्स्चर बक्स वुड भन्ने भयो, कोर्स वुडमा चाहिँ म्याङ्गो भन्ने भयो। टर्मिनालिया भन्ने छ, यसलाई चाहिँ हेर्ने ठ्याक्कै यो फोटो आएको रहन्छ। एन्ड नट। ओके। नट क्लासिफाई अकर्डिङ टु साइज। ओके। पिथ नट: small knot, medium knot, large knot. A knot not more than 0.5 mm, 1/4 inch in diameter. Pith knot 0.5 mm. Small knot more than 0.5 mm, but not more than 20 mm, 3/4 inch in diameter. Medium knot known as more than 20 mm, but not more than 40 mm, 1.5 mm in diameter. Large knot or not more than 40 mm in diameter. And knot classification according to form: round knot, spike or spray knot. A knot oval or approximately circular in form. Okay. Spike or splay knot, or not having elongated shapes. Okay. And 3 मा छ knot classification according to condition: live, dead, loose, dead, pith, enclosed. Okay. Live knot or not free from decay and other defect, family intergrown with surrounding wood. Dead knot or not softer than the surrounding wood and containing decay. Okay. Then loose knot or knot which is not held firmly in place by grown or position. Okay. Dead knot or knot in which the wood elements are not completely intergrown with those of the surrounding wood. Okay. Pith or sound knot with a pith hole not over 1/4 inch or 0.6 centimeter in diameter. Okay. Enclosed knot or knot that does not appear on the outer or interior surface of timber. Okay. Sex. And 4 मा छ knot classification according to condition: live, dead, loose, dead, pith, enclosed. Okay. Then loose knot or knot which is not held firmly in place by grown or position. Okay. Dead knot or knot in which the wood elements are not completely intergrown with those of the surrounding wood. Okay. Pith or sound knot with a pith hole not over 1/4 inch or 0.6 centimeter in diameter. Okay. Enclosed knot or knot that does not appear on the outer or interior surface of timber. Okay. Sex. And A seg or natural seg is a separation of fiber along the grain standing or freshly filled timber, forming a crack of fissure, fissure that is generally confined to the interior of the timber but sometimes extend to one surface. हॉट सेक, स्टार सेक, रेडियल सेक, कप सेक अर्थात रिंग सेक. A simple hot sex is a crack starting from the pith extending radially outward. Okay, when there are more than one cracks radiating from the pith, the defect is known as compound hot sex or star sex. Radial sex are crack extending from periphery of the standing tree and extended radially inward toward the center, cup or ring sac. This sex which takes place in annual rings. If the sac is annual ring is 1 by 2 the ring or not a complete ring, the sun sac is called cup sex. If the sac is annual rings, okay, is complete circle, then such sac is ring sacs. Wood preservatives. Wood preservation, the treatment of wood with preservatives to increase its durability. Preservative from termites, fungi, marine organisms or fire does not increase inflammability of wood. यसले चाहिँ इन्फ्लेमेबिलिटी अफ वुड चाहिँ इन्क्रिज गर्दैन. द लाइफ अफ टिम्बर क्यान बी इन्क्रिज 5 to 10 times इट नर्मल लाइफ प्रिजर्भेटिभ्स ट्रिटमेन्टबाट चाहिँ. वुड प्रिजर्भेटिभ टाइप्स. ओके, ओइल टाइप कोल, तार, केरोसिन इज मोस्टली कमनली युज. कोल तार use with petroleum oil 50-50 ratio and solignum and kerosene are two proprietary preservatives based on coal tar kerosene. Okay, water soluble preservatives ASU, ZnCl, copper sulfate, mercury chloride, clicur and bori compounds are mixed with sodium dichromate. Organic solvent type. Okay, locks are dissolved in suitable organic solvent. Grading system in Nepal. Okay, in Nepal, TCN is the largest and only timber selling organization. The TCN specified and apply grading system, but it is not widely and always practiced. Following grading criteria is adopted by TCN: first class, second class, third class. First class straight and long, potentially yielding 3 to 4 logs in 10 फुट है त. 10 फुटको चाहिँ 3 देखि 4 दिने फर्स्ट क्लास एन्ड लिस्ट 1 लग्स अफ 10 इन्च. सेकेन्ड क्लास एउटा लग चाहिँ 10 इन्चको एउटा लग दिने 10 फिटको एउटा लग. एन्ड थर्ड class cannot potentially yield timber used for firewood. Government of Nepal recently has published a gazetted on 23 Jan 2068 which consists the grading system to be employed in Nepal for the purpose of pricing of log and pole is basics for grading. Why basis? The percentage of saw timber produce of log without defect and the length and girth of the logs. For example, the timber can be graded A if the length of log is 7 feet, and girth is 6 feet, and saw timber is greater than 65% of log. Okay, 7 feet L, 7 feet B, girth 6 feet and 65% भन्दा बढी चाहिँ यसले काटिदिनु पर्यो। त्यसपछि द टिम्बर क्यान बी ग्रेड बी इफ द लेन्थ इज 5 फिट एन्ड गर्थ इज 5 फिट एन्ड क्वान्टिटी अफ स टिम्बर इज 65% हो है त, लस देन 65% दिनु पर्यो। त्यसपछि एकोर्डिङ टु द ग्याजेटेड द प्रिन्सिपल बेसिस फर द गर्थ अफ लग एन्ड इज पर्सेन्टेज स टिम्बर the gazetted comprise species wise grading as well. These are A grade and A grade and B grade. Is A grade girth 5 feet भन्दा बढी and length 6 feet भन्दा बढी, सामान्यतया किरा नलागेको वा प्रति 6 फिट लम्बाइमा 2वटा प्वाल भएको, 5% सम्म धोध भएको गोलिया काठ सम्झनु पर्दछ। डिफेक्ट ह्याभिङ नर्मल वार्मिङ अर अप टु 2 होल्स पर 6 फिट अफ लेन्थ अप टु 5% ब्लिच्ड स्ट्रेट प्लेट वुड। ओके, बी ग्रेडमा गर्थ 4 फुट भन्दा बढी र लेन्थ 4 फुट भन्दा बढी, किरा लागेको वा प्रति 4 फिट लम्बाइमा 5वटा सम्म प्वाल भएको, चिरिएको 5 फिट भन्दा बढी गोलाइ भएकोमा 25% सम्म धोध भएको र 4 फिटदेखि 5 फिट सम्म गोलाइ भएकोमा 5% सम्म धोध भएको, गाँठो भएको, बोक्राभित्र पसेको गोलिया काठ। वार्म or having up to 5 holes per 4 feet in length, weight up to 25%, hollow exceeding 5 feet in girth and up to 5% hollow exceeding from 4 feet to 5 feet roundwood, not embark roundwood and C grade. ओके, C ग्रेडमा चाहिँ 2 फिट भन्दा बढी 6 इन्च 2 फिट 6 इन्चसम्म भन्दा बढी हुनु पर्यो गर्थ, एन्ड 3 फुट भन्दा बढी चाहिँ हाम्रो लेन्थ हुनु पर्यो। ए र बी ग्रेडमा नपरेको हुनु पर्यो, नट फालिङ अन्डर ए एन्ड बी ग्रेडमा। ओके, डीमा चाहिँ एबिसी ग्रेड वा बल्लबल्लीमा नपरेको, बल्लबल्लीमा पनि नपरेको, चिरान काट निस्कन सक्ने गोलिया तर चिरान काट निस्किन सक्ने हुनु पर्यो डीमा। नट फालिङ अन्डर एबिसी ग्रेड एन्ड पोज obtaining saw timber from roundwood. ओके, स्पिसिस वाइल्ड सिसौँ, यो चाहिँ हाम्रो सोरियार अवस्थाको कुरा छ। त्यसपछि वाइल्ड सिसो सिमलको केसमा गर्थ 4 फिट भन्दा बढी, एबिसिडी यसलाई पनि 4वटैमा, गर्थ 4 फिट भन्दा बढी, लेन्थ 4 फिट भन्दा बढी, एन्ड ए ग्रेडमा सामान्य किरा लागेको वा प्रति 4 फिटमा चाहिँ प्रति 4 फिट लम्बाइमा 2वटा प्वाल भएको, 5% सम्म धोध भएको सोझो गोलिया काठ। ह्याभिङ नर्मल वार्मिङ or up to 2 holes per 4 feet of length, up to 5% bleached straight plate wood. ओके, बी ग्रेडमा 3 फुट भन्दा बढी गर्थ र लेन्थमा 4 फुट भन्दा बढी, किरा लागेको वा प्रति 4 फिट लम्बाइमा 5वटा सम्म प्वाल भएको, चिरिएको 4 फिट भन्दा बढी गोलाइ भएको, 25% सम्म धोध भएको र 3 फिटदेखि 4 फिटसम्म गोलाइ भएकोमा 5% सम्म धोध भएको, गोलो भएको,
बोक्राभित्र पसेको गोलिया काठ worm or having up to 5 holes per 4 feet in length, crack up to 25% yellow exceeding 4 feet in length and up to 5 holes exceeding from 3 feet to 4 feet round wood knots in bark and round wood. ओके सी ग्रेडमा 2 फिट 6 इन्चीभन्दा बढी र 3 फिटभन्दा बढी एबिसीमा नभएको नट फालिङ एमएनजी, डीमा एबिसी र बल्लाबल्लीमा नभएको चिरान काट निस्किने र निस्कन सक्ने। त्यसपछि चाप जामुन कर्म एन्ड असना चा जा क अ। ओके ए ग्रेडमा गर्थ 5 फिटभन्दा बढी र लेन्थ 7 फिटभन्दा बढी। सामान्य किरा लागेको वा प्रति 7 फिट लम्बाइमा 2वटा प्वाल भएको 5% धोत भएको सोझो गोलिया काठ है त। ह्याभिङ नर्मल वर्मिङ अफ टु 2 होल्स पर 7 फिट अफ लेन्थ अप टु 5% ब्लिच्ड स्ट्रेट प्लेट ग्रुप प्लेट वुड। ओके एन्ड बी ग्रेडमा चाहिँ 4 फुटभन्दा बढी गर्थ 5 फुटभन्दा बढी लेन्थ। किरा लागेको वा प्रति 4 फिट लम्बाइमा 5वटासम्म प्वाल भएको चिरान चिरिएको 5 फिटभन्दा बढी गोलाइ भएकोमा 25% धोत भएको र 4 फिटदेखि 5 फिटसम्म गोलाइ भएकोमा 5%सम्म धोत भएको गाँठो भएको बोक्रा पसेको गोलिया काठ। ओके एन्ड सीमा छ ए र बी ग्रेडमा नपरेको। यसलाई चाहिँ चाप जामुन कर्म एन्ड असनालाई सीसम्म रहेछ। त्यसपछि टुनी सिरिज कालो र रातोलाई मात्र छ है त सिरिजको। त्यसपछि उत्तिस एन्ड गमारीलाई चाहिँ ए र बीमा एमा चाहिँ गोलाइ 5 फिट। ओके गोलाइ चाहिँ 5 फिट वा सोभन्दा बढी भएको एन्ड बीमा चाहिँ गोलाइ 5 फिटभन्दा कम भएको मात्रै है त। रोयल्टी रेट अफ सोम ट्री स्पिसिस केही ट्री स्पिसिसका रोयल्टी रेटहरू पढौँ। 37 साल डर्बर्गिया सिसौँ 1600 साल सोरिया र अवस्था ए ग्रेडलाई 1250, बी ग्रेडलाई 900, सी ग्रेडलाई 600 र डी ग्रेडलाई 300। त्यसपछि छ जामुन के अरे जङ्गली सिसौँ डलबर्गिया सिसौँ ए ग्रेडलाई 1250, बी ग्रेडलाई 1000, सी ग्रेडलाई 600, डी ग्रेडलाई 350। प्लान्टेसन सिसौँ ए ग्रेडलाई 700, बी ग्रेडलाई 500। खयर 81 रुपियाँ पर केजी स्टिम र 1000 सिएफटी। ओके पर सिएफटी। आरएस 40 केजी रुट। ओके स्यान्डलवुड सेन्ट्रलम एल्बम 3000देखि 3000 रुपियाँ र 1000 पर केजी। चिरपाइन ए ग्रेडलाई 250, बी ग्रेडलाई 150, विजय साल 10,000 चाहिँ विजय साललाई 1000 मात्र पर्छ। टोनी सिरिस गमारी एन्ड उत्तिस टोसी ग उ टोनी सिरिस गमारी एन्ड उत्तिसलाई चाहिँ ए ग्रेडलाई 300, बी ग्रेडलाई 200। चा आ क जा चाप असना कर्म जामुनलाई चाहिँ ए ग्रेडलाई 400, बीलाई 300, सीलाई 100। ब्लु पाइन एन्ड पाटेसल्ला ए ग्रेडलाई 200 र बी ग्रेडलाई 100। त्यसपछि गएर पाइसिया स्पिसिस सेड्रस म्याग्निफेरा इन्डिका टर्मिनेलिया चेबुला टर्मिनेलिया बेरेरिका मिट्राकियाना पार्भिफोलरा क्यास्टोनोफिस इन्डुका सीमावालिसी बेटुला उत्तिजी सुगा डुमसा डेरिक्स स्पिसिस एबिस पिन्डुरो एबिस स्पेक्टरबिस सेड्रस देवदलालाई चाहिँ 200 रुपियाँ पर्छ। सोर्स फरेस्ट रेगुलेसन 2079। क्यालोरिफिक भ्यालु। अब क्यालोरिफिक भ्यालु भने के त भन्दाखेरि इट इज द भ्यालु क्वान्टिटेटिभली एक्सिडेड एज द नम्बर अफ हेड युनिट obtained by complete combustion of a unit of mass of fuel under extraneous condition and is measured in calorific value of some important species सबभन्दा बढी देवदार 5294 हाई क्यालोरिफिक भ्यालु। त्यसपछि साल 5264 एलेक्स वुड एनोजियस ल्याटिफोलिया 4948 इम्ली टामारिन्डस इन्डिका 4939। त्यसपछि बाबुल एकासिया निलोटिका 4877 ओक कर्कस स्पिसिस 3990 एन्ड वुड एन्ड साउन्ड वुड। ओके भेलोसिटी अफ साउन्ड इन मिटर पर लङ्गिट्युडिनलमा चाहिँ 4120 हुन्छ भेलोसिटी अफ साउन्ड। रेडियलमा चाहिँ 1651 हुन्छ र टेन्जेन्टियलमा 1230 हुन्छ डिरेक्सन अफ वुड। ओके एन्ड त्यसपछि हाम्रो वुड एन्ड हार्डवुड। ओके एक्सट्रिमली हार्डवुड सिलेइचेरा ओलियसा मुसाफेरिया सोरिया रोस्ता एकासिया निलोटिका एकासिया क्याटेसु जाइलिया डोलोब्रिन्फोर्मिस एनोजियस स्पिसिस डलबर्गिया ल्याटिफोलिया इज द एक्सट्रिमली हार्ड स्पिसिस। ओके एन्ड भेरी हार्ड स्पिसिसमा चाहिँ टर्मिनेलिया डलबर्गिया मोरोस एन्ड साइजिमे इज द भेरी हार्ड स्पिसिस। एन्ड हार्ड स्पिसिसमा लार्जेस्ट्रोमिया स्पिसिस एल्बिजिया ल्याबेक टिक्टोना ग्रान्डिस एडिना कार्डिफोलिया इज हार्ड स्पिसिस। Moderately soft is Magnifera indica and soft is Cedrus deodara and Tona ciliata abit indro. Very soft Basilia serrata, Pinus roxburgai, Pisces smithiana and Pinus wallichiana. Extremely soft Bambex cibera, Cripromeria japanica. Okay. Wood and durability. Okay. वुड र तिनीहरूको चाहिँ ड्युरेबिलिटीको के छ भन्दाखेरि एन्ड वुड एन्ड ड्युरेबिलिटी भेरी ड्युरेबल लाइफ चाहिँ 10 वर्षभन्दा बढी होइन। वुड चाहिँ एकासिया डलबर्गिया ल्याटिफोल एकासिया क्याटिसु डलबर्गिया ल्याटिसु डलबर्गिया सिसो युकालिप्टस स्पिसिस सोरिया र अवस्था र टिक्टोना ग्रान्डिस 10 वर्षभन्दा बढी ड्युरेबल। मोडरेटली ड्युरेबल 5 देखि 10 वर्ष एल्बिजिया प्रोसेरा टर्मिनेला टोमेन्टोसा 5 देखि 10 वर्ष। त्यसपछि नो ड्युरेबल 5 वर्षभन्दा कम चाहिँ एडिना कोर्डिफोलिया बम्ब्याक साइबा माइसिलिया चाम्पाका पाइनस रक्सबर्ग र सीमा वालिची इज मोस्ट ड्युरेबल। ओके नो ड्युरेबल। Then seasoning behavior of wood. Okay seasoning behavior चाहिँ refractory wood, moderately refractory wood and no refractory wood which are liable to crack, split and warp are called refractory wood. Okay moderately refractory wood, the wood which are moderately liable to seasoning defect during seasoning. Okay non-refractory wood, the timber which are capable of withstand rapid season is not non-refractory wood. Okay refractory wood एक्ले पार्बलस बेल एनोजियस ल्याटिफोलिया मधुका इन्डिका क्यासिया फिस्टुला डायस्पोरिया मेलानोक्जिलोन साइजियम कुमिनो औजेनिया ओजेनिसिस एन्ड इम्बिलिका ओफिसिनालिस एन्ड सोरिया रोस्ता टर्मिनिया टोमेन्टोसा इज द रिफ्र्याक्टोरी वुड। ओके एन्ड त्यसपछि गएर मोडरेटली रिफ्र्याक्टोरी एकासिया निलोटिका एडिना कार्डिफोलिया एल्बिजिया ल्याबेक टोना सिलिएटा त्यसपछि डलबर्गिया सिसो, डलबर्गिया ल्याटिफोलिया, जिमेलिया आर्बोरिया, जुग्लान्स रोइजिया, मेलिया एजेरियाक्टा, टिक्टोना ग्रांडिस, the Termelia arjuna is the moderately refractory wood, and Avicenro silver for Bombex saiba, Boswellia serrata, Cedrus deodara, Magnifera indica, Morus alba, Pisces smithiana, Spruce, Pinus roxburgh, Pinus vallicina, Trivia nudiflora is the non-refractory wood. Okay, and wood and water, wood र वाटरको सम्बन्ध, फ्री वाटर, absorb water, free water held by capillary action include the free space in the cell and fiber. Absorb water, it is type of water which is intimately absorbed by substance of the cell wall and is distributed in the intramolecular space between the ultimate practice of which wood substance is composed. Okay, and fiber saturation point, a point in which all the free moisture is removed, only the absorbed moisture is left. भयो भनेपछि हुन्छ, such point is known as fiber saturation point. The wood starts shrinking only after this point is reached. Okay, fiber saturation point is found to vary from 20% देखि 30% चाहिँ of water on the dry weight of the wood. Wood seasoning, the process of drying timber to remove the bound moisture contained in wall of wood shell to produce seasoned timber. Air seasoning. Okay, air seasoning, seasoning of wood in open area only with the support of air. Okay, rapid during of timber. Air seasoning. Non-refractory wood turn frequently at least twice a day. 1-9 method. 9 slipper are separated from one another by placing one slipper across between layer. Kill seasoning, season by artificial heat. Okay, and the standard size of kill is 6.1 into 3.35 into 4.6 meter inter dimension. Capacity is 14 meter cube, and in high refractory species we suck the timber in the common salt. Okay, use of wood, musical instrument, violent बनाउनलाई maple for bridge, teak and rosewood for the key, rosewood for the bow. Sitar, tony for body, teak for long neck, and devdar or sisu for key. Guitar, white drum, canarium euphyllum. Drum, Siris and sisu. Harmonium, teak and mahogany, sweetenia. Piano case, mahogany. Walnut and sativon, chlorazylum, sweetenia. Sport good industry, sport good use of wood, billiard court, Disporus melanoxylon, tendu, Grivitiliafolia, bow and arrow, Grivitiliafolia, Pterocarpus marsupium, Acacia catezu, Dolbergia, Sisu yellow, Cactus baccata. U. Cricket bat, stump and bale, Willia, Salix species, Morus alba, Melia edirecta, and hockey stick, Morus alba को चाहिँ hockey stick भन्दो रहेछ. Golf club, Babul Acacia nilotica, Mesua feria, rosewood, Dolborgia latifolia is golf. And fishing rod, Arundinaria falcata is fishing rod. Skis, Sisal mulberry, tennis, badminton and squat racket, maple. Yesser species, beach, Fugus species, as fraginus species, ripple parts and gun stalks, walnut, Zuclans rosea, maples, cherry, prunus, paduca. And aircraft, okay, timber, pap, Picea smithiana, AB spindro, Picea smithiana, Pterocarpus dolborgii, okay. Match industry, Anthocephalus cadamba, Boswellia serrata, Bombec saiba, Magnifera indica, Populus trimula, Trivia nudiflora. Packing case industry, the wood should be like, okay, should be light in weight, reasonably strong, perfectly within whitish color, free from warping and shrinkage, for fire spur, simul, kale, Pinus polycena and Kodam. Pencil industry, the pencil wood should be light in weight, pink in color, fine extreme texture, even texture, straight, grain, free from knot, for elder, Elnus nepalensis, Juniperus macroba, and Deodar, Wilio, and Salix and Kale. Plywood industry, the thickness of each veneer piles is 0.18 mm to 5 mm in, and the plywood is made in from 3, 5, 7, 9 and up to 15. Most common from in 3 plywood. The timber for plywood should be round, free from resin, excessive knot and interlocked fibers, from Magnifera indica, Syzygium meaning, Terminal bilerica, Dolborgia latifera, Tictona grandis and Mahogan, है Suiteria. Paper making, Lokta, Daphne babu, babui, Savai grass, Ilaliopsis binata. Minor forest product, fiber, Evaga species, fiber Evaga species, Flossis, Seba pentandra, Kapok, Bombax saiba, Calotropix gigantiana, Imperata cylindrica and Sueri. And whale, तेल होइन, तेलको लागि ग्रास वेल, पाल्म रोसा, साइम्बोपोगन मार्टिनी, लेमन ग्रास, साइमोपोगन फ्लेक्जुअस and citronella oil, Saimbopogon nardus, wood oil, sandalwood is Santalum album, agar oil, Equilatria agalocha, Deodar oil, Cedrus Deodara, leaf oil, Eucalyptus oil, Eucalyptus globulis, Citriodora oil, Eucalyptus Citriodora, camphora oil, Cinnamomum camphora, cinnamon oil, Cinnamomum zelanicum, mint oil, Mentha arvensis, wintergreen oil, Gaultheria fragrantissima, root oil, Costus oil, Sauraria lapa, cum, Valeriana oil, Valeriana walici, and कच एन्ड कथाको बारेमा पढ्नु पर्यो है त. कच एन्ड कच आर ओब्टेन फ्रम द बोइलिङ अफ इन वाटर बाई हट वुड अफ एकासिया काटेछु. कच क्याचिन, कथ कथा, ट्यानिन एसिड कच, extract the chips of hardwood of acacia catechu, boil in copper vessel 12 hour, and then cooled, and at least katha is concentrated. Kath is obtained 4 to 5% of total weight of wood. Kath is obtained only 10-12% of wood. The overall result really reveals that the recovery percentage of kath and kath range from 1.90 to 9.35 and 5 to 7.26% respectively. Kath is used in pain and medicine. Kath is Katha is pain and medicine. Kath is used in including inducing and preservatives agent. Kath is used as valuable raw material. Okay, valuable raw materials, plywood adhesive, drying preservative, fishing net, and dyeing canvas for boat sails, dyeing cotton and silk, and calico printing. Katha manufacturing season November, and 6 processing plant in Tarai region of Nepal. Okay, maximum katha obtaining in winter season मा है त. त्यसपछि छ रेजिनको बारेमा. फाउन्ड इन द स्टेम अफ ट्री 3 to 5 kg रेजिन पर tree per year. Resin is insoluble in water but more or less soluble in ordinary solvent, in ether, alcohol, and turpentine. Pine resin, Pinus roxburgh quantity resin obtained, species tapped in Nepal. Pinus wallichiana quality of resin obtained, and resin collection process, light process है त, light and continuous tapping, heavy tapping. This is done in all tree above 0.9 meter in girth. Tree between 0.9 to 1.8 in girth are tapped in one channel, and above 1.8 in girth in two channel. Okay, for 5 years 5 वर्षको लागि. And at the end of 5 years a new channel is tapped, leaving 10 centimeter space from the old channel. Okay, heavy tapping. This is tapping depth to depth and common in developed countries. In this method, maximum possible quantity of resin is exuded by making many possible channel at 10 centimeter space. It is generally initiated 5 years in advance of main filling. There are different methods of tapping. The stem of leaving this tree, cup and leaf, silva, hill, basula method, bark chipit method, reel method, and borehole method. Okay, processing of harvesting resin in Nepal. According to resin collection guideline 2064, the tree selection for extraction of resin deviates 30 centimeter on the body till Phagun, and all this work needed to be done. Depot should be established. Concentration for increasing the flow in resin reel, 20% concentration of dilute sulfuric acid and dilute nitric acid in the proportion of 1:1. Reel formation, okay, 1 to 7 days before the main resin collection. Numbering of the tree, no reel formation near road. Sharp instrument for reel formation 15 centimeter above the ground. 45 into 30 centimeter removal of the bark. 32-16 centimeter blaze formation. in the middle 4 mm and 7.9 mm deep incision should be creation incision of 40 degree in the base area of 2 mm deep should be created, and tin tin plate of 7 centimeter and 6.5 centimeter is fixed at the end of the incision. Repeat the process after 3 days on the other side of the trunk. After creation of new reel, you can spray the concentration on the reel. Okay, and 5 year for the collection of resin for some tree. Collection season for Chaitra Kartik Sikiraud. Okay, and yield कति दिन्छ भन्दा रेजिन र रोजिन. रेजिन चाहिँ 75% बाई वेट, टर्पेन्टाइन 70 देखि 20% बाई वेट. कलर येलो, रेड, ब्राउन एन्ड ब्ल्याक हुन्छ भने रेजिन, टर्पेन्टाइन कलरलेस. स्पेसिफिक ग्राभिटी 1.08, रेजिन 0.85 to 0.88. Boiling point 100 to 140 degrees Celsius and turpentine को 155 डिग्री सेल्सियस. use soap making, sizing paper, ink, paint, bow of violent, paint, त्यसमा turpentine, paint, varnish, shoe, other polish, chemical and pharmaceutical. बेम्बो नेपालमा अब बेम्बोको बारेमा पढौँ है त. बेम्बो आर टाल पेरिनियल arborescent grasses belong to Bambosia under Gramineae family. There are 140 species in India. 40 species of bamboo are found in Nepal. Taraitu mountain. The most common, valuable and most universal use bamboo is Dendrocalamus strict is universal use. Common use are roofing, rafting, walling, flooring, matting and furniture. Similarly, basket making, lathes, bows and arrow, tents, poles, facing pond also common. Leaves are very good fodder in the hills. Bamboo shoot are eaten. It is an important raw material for pulp and paper. Okay, some important species of bamboo. केही इम्पोर्टेन्ट स्पिसिसहरू हामी पढ्न गइरहेका छौँ ब्याम्बोका. अरुन्डिनेरिया फाल्काटा ग्रो इन मोस्ट मोइस्ट साइडमा, सेडी प्लेसमा. इलिभेसन 1200 देखि 2000 मिटर. हाइट इज 1.8 to 3 मिटर. एन्ड अरुन्डिनेरिया स्पाथिफ्लोरा स्मल ब्याम्बो हो यो. वेस्टर्न हिमालयमा पाउँछ. इलिभेसन 2000 देखि 2700 मा. ब्याम्बुसा अरुन्डिनासिया अथोर्नी ब्याम्बो 24 देखि 30 मिटर हाइट. डायमिटर 15 देखि 18 सेन्टिमिटर अप टु 900 मिटर. डेन्ड्रोक्यालामस गिगान्टस बिगेस्ट ब्याम्बो भयो 24 देखि 30 मिटर, 20 देखि 25 सेन्टिमिटर इन डायमिटर. रतन केन स्टिम अफ क्लाइम्बिङ पाल्म of the genus and few other related genera. Canes reach about maturity 5 year. A genus Calamus consists of about 30 species of which around 50 are available in Nepal and distributed in Tarai. And stem of this climbing are long up to 100 मिटर सँग सिलिन्डर हुन्छ. Solid and straw yellow in color. They are strong, tough and elastic. The outer surface is hard, smooth as ceiling. The core is spongy. क्यालामस एकान्थोस्पाथस एउटा भयो। कमन क्लाइम्बर फाउन्ड इन इन्डिया एन्ड नेपाल, इस्टर्न पूर्वतिर पाउँछ है त। इन्टरनोड्स आर 15 सेन्टिमिटर लङ, डायमिटर 2 to 2.5 सेन्टिमिटर हो त। 2 बछ क्यालामस टेनस, क्यालामस क्रुबा, क्यालामस भिमिनालिस, क्यालामस रोटाङ। ओके। फरेस्ट हार्वेस्टिङ। Forest harvesting is the branch of forestry which deals with the proper techniques of harvesting of forest crops. It is concentrated with the cutting of forest crops for final utilization. Harvesting of the tree for timber is called forest harvesting. Access X felling, trimming, splitting and grubbing, FTSG. Bill hooks, felling bamboo and small pole and cutting brushwood. Saw, felling, cross cutting and ripping log into plane, scantling, slipper and class of converted material. Wedge, splitting log or fuel blade and assisting in the felling of tree and longitudinal sawing of timber. Cannot hook and pickeron as labor in rolling, stopping and turning logs. Debarking, removing the bark from a felled tree in green condition. Cleaver, splitting firewood and driving in wedge, also as hammer. Log hook used for dragging, lifting and rolling. Power chainsaw, felling and cross cutting. X हाम्रो बन्चरको बारेमा पढौँ है त। जनरली 1.5 देखि 2 kg or मोर युज 2.5 kg चाहिँ बढी युज हुन्छ। द एक विथ 20 देखि 25 सेन्टिमिटर। द होल इज एक्सिस इज कल आई। The standard length of axis handle is 90 cm but up to 70 देखि 120 is common. Trimming axis 5 kg, handle 3.5 to 4.5 feet. Balance blaze 25 देखि 30 cm. Splitting axis 4 kg, handle 2.5 feet. Grooving axis 5 kg, handle 3 feet, blaze 20 cm. Bill hook used for filling bamboo, small pole and cleaning, chopping 0.5 kg to 5 kg, usually 2.5 kg. Power chainsaw, blaze length 50 देखि 80 cm. And for fast and efficient work, power of chainsaw is 2.5 to 4 HP. Bow saw, one man saw for filling small tree and poles and small product. Blade length is 90 देखि 105 सेन्टिमिटर। saw, ओके। saw को बारेमा पढ्छौँ। Face and back. The face of the tooth is the edge of the tooth which face the cutting direction, and back of the tooth is the opposite edge. Space, the distance from the point to point of two adjacent tooth. Gullet, the entire opening between two adjacent teeth. Okay. Pith, the angle between the face of a tooth and the line passing through point of the teeth. Sit, the extent to which the teeth are bent to either side of the plane of the blade. Spring sitting, the teeth are slightly bent alternatively to one side and the other side. Handsaw. Sawing setting. The teeth are wide at their tip than at the point where they join the blade. Machine. Gauge. The thickness of the saw blade. Okay. Curve. Curve. The width of the cut made by the saw joining proper leaving of the saw teeth. Wastage in conversion. फिलिङ वास्टेज एप्रोक्सिमेटली पर्सेन्टेज वास्ट 9 देखि 14% फिलिङ गर्दा वास्ट हुन्छ। अब सोइङ गर्दा 27 देखि 32। माइनर ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन 5 देखि 6। मेजर ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन 3 देखि 5। टोटल एभरेज वास्ट भने 56%। ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन अफ टिम्बर। ओके, transportation of timber logs forest product means movement from the stem seed to yarding point or depot or movement to final destination. Transportation is divided in two parts: minor, major. Minor, from stump to yarding site. Major, movement to final destination. Method of transportation of forest: transport by land, carrying by man, animal, cart, dragging, rolling, sliding, motor transport. Water, floating, telescopic floating, river floating, free floating, rafting, and bones and wet slide. Okay, then overhead transportation. Donald portable gravity ropeway, gravity conveyor, power ropeway, scaling crane system. Depot is a place where wood or other forest product are stored pending is disposal. Forest depot, transit depot or sale depot. Forest depot, temporary depot for collection, seating of product before dispatch from forest. Transit depot, temporary depot used for collection, checking and examination of land borne timber. Sale depot, permanent near market. Okay, harvesting. अब हार्वेस्टिङ को कुरा आयो। and involved in following institution. हार्वेस्टिङमा गभर्मेन्ट, डिआफओ, एफपिडिबी फरेस्ट प्रोडक्ट डेभलपमेन्ट बोर्ड, नेपाल वन निगम, टिसिएन, फरेस्ट युजर ग्रुप र प्राइभेट सेक्टर एजेन्सी इन्भल्भ इन हार्वेस्टिङ प्र्याक्टिस इन नेपाल। नेपाल वन निगम with the aim of harvesting, a single organization is an organization that collect and distribute wood and firewood from the national forest by the decision date 2045 2045 12 महिना 1 गते. TCN will carry out the work related to the sale of the fuel institute and the forest product development committee from 2017 देखि 2044 push. This corporation was under the Ministry of Forest and Land Conservation. Then it was placed under the Ministry of Supply by the decision of the 26th of Asar 2056. It was again under the Ministry of Forest and Land Conservation unit. Now it has been functioning until now. According to the decision of the Council of Ministry date 2076 2 महिना 23 गते, the government of Nepal has merged the former TCN with FPDB. The dream of Titian was realized by the site in 1955, resulted in the establishment of sawmill project. Okay, after 6 years, Titian was established in 1960s November 10 2017 कार्तिक 25. Okay, plant. A treatment plant is in Hetauda. Okay, and or recently established 2075 सालमा ट्रिटमेन्ट प्लान्ट इज भक्तपुर चितवन, भरतपुर चितवन, and branches Dhangadi, Hetauda, Birganj and Nepalganj. Dhangadi, Hetauda, Birganj and Nepalganj. Okay, sawmill Gita sawmill, Danda sawmill, Biratnagar sawmill, Birganj sawmill. Gita, Danda, Biratnagar, Birganj. Okay, Forest Product Development Board. It was established 1976मा है त 2033 फरेस्ट प्रडक्ट डेभलपमेन्ट बोर्ड. अनि सगरनाथ फरेस्ट डेभलपमेन्ट बोर्ड चाहिँ प्रोजेक्ट चाहिँ 2035मा है त. एन्ड एरिया 13,512 हेक्टर है त. कभरेज एसएमआर सर्लाही, महोत्तरी एन्ड रौतहट. स्पिसिस इक्यालिप्टस 75%, 655 हेक्टर. सिसोङ, टिक एन्ड अदर स्पिसिस 45%. एन्ड इक्यालिप्टस 55%. रौतहट एफोरेस्टेसन प्रोजेक्ट 2035. टोटल एरिया 6,367 हेक्टर. प्लान्टेसन एरिया 2,240 हेक्टर. हर्बल प्रोडक्ट एन्ड प्रोसेसिङ कम्पनी लिमिटेड एसपिपिसिएल स्टार्ट 2038 मङ्सिरमा एन्ड 1981 डिसेम्बर अर्थात्. बोर्ड अफ डिरेक्टर 5 मेम्बर. प्रोडक्ट सेन्टर तामागढी हर्बल फार्म, बिगेस्ट फार्म अफ नेपाल विथ एरिया 333 हेक्टर. सिट्रोनिला, लेमन ग्रास, पाल्मारोसा, मेन्था, चामोमिया, मिली एन्ड फ्रेन्च बेसिल कल्टिभेट्स. ओके, बेलबारी हर्बल फार्म 76 हेक्टर ल्यान्ड मोरङ. तहरा हर्बल फार्म सुनसरी 25 हेक्टर. एक्सटेन्सन प्रोग्राम युनिट टिकापुर कैलाली. इसेन्सियल ओइल फर एसपिपिसिएल 18वटा डिफ्रेन्ट ओइल. हर्बल केयर प्रोडक्ट सन्चो, हिमालयन म्यासेज ओइल, नेपाली ओइल, एन्टिलिज ओइल, सन्चो हर्बल ड्रिङ्क, आरोमा थेरापी ओइल 3 टाइप्स, शिलाजित. ओके, एन्ड some important medicinal plant in Nepal. Okay, some important medicinal plant of Nepal. Okay, species अल्लो गिराडिनिया डाइभर्सिफोलिया. डिस्ट्रिब्युसन 1200 देखि 3000. त्यसपछि हार्भेस्टमा चाहिँ हार्भेस्ट चाहिँ माझा, अल्लोलाई माझा. युज चाहिँ फाइबर एन्ड क्लोथ. अनि 1200 देखि 3000. अर्गेली इडगरवर्थीया गार्डेनेरिया 1500 देखि 3000. डेमा, अल्लोलाई डेमा. पेपर एन्ड रोप मेपिङ. त्यसपछि वन लसुन फ्रिटेलारिया सिरोसा 3500 देखि 4000. जुवा वन लसुन जुवा. ट्रिटमेन्ट अस्थमा, ब्रोन्चाइट एन्ड ब्लिडिङ ड्युरिङ कफ. बिक एकोनिटम स्पेक्ट्रम 1800 देखि 4300. ओनो बिक भने ओनो. पोइजन एन्ड अ पास्ट अफ रुट इज एप्लाइड फर न्युरालजिङ कोलिरा एन्ड rheumatism एन्ड चिराइतो 1500 देखि 2500। ओके। स्वीतारिया चिराइता नोडे। ओके। चिराइतो स्वीचारिया चिराइता 1500 देखि 2500। नोडे चिराइतो नोडे 1500 देखि 2500 नोडे। द प्लान्ट इज टॉक्ट्रोनिक स्टोमैचिक। ओके। फेब्रिफुक एन्ड लग्जाटिभ स्किन डिजिज। ओके। जटामसी। ओके। जटामसी चाहिँ नार्दोस्टाटिस ग्रान्डिफलोरा 3500 देखि 5300। सेव जटामसी सेव। कफ कोल्ड फेभर ड्यू टु पोइजनिङ स्प्लिन डिजिज इन्टेन्सियल प्यारासाइट नाइट ब्लड प्रेसर ट्युमर्स स्टोमाच डिजिज एन्ड स्विलिङ। लोक्ता डाफ्ने भालु 1800 देखि 3100। जुओ लोक्ता जुओ ह्यान्डमेड पेपर। कुट्की नियोपाइकोराइजा स्क्रोफुलारिफोलिया। फ्लोरा 3500 देखि 4800। ओनो भन्यो कुट्की। इन्टेस्टाइल पेन ब्लड एन्ड लङ फेभर हाई ब्लड प्रेसर आई डिजिज एन्ड ग्यास्ट्रिक कफ एन्ड कोल्ड। 5 औँले डक्टोराइजा हेटार्जिरिया 3000 देखि 4000। ओसे 5 औँले ओसे भेजिटेबल एन्ड कन्ट्रोल ब्लिडिङ। पदमचाल राउल्फी अस्ट्राली 3200 देखि 4500। ओसे पदमचाल पनि ओसे। टोनिक एन्ड स्टोमैचिक द राइजोम इल्ड अफ ब्रिङ येलो डाइस। पाखनबेद वर्जेनिया सिलिएटा 1300 देखि 4000। म्याउ पाखनबेद म्याउ इन केस अफ हेमोरोइड अस्थमा युरिनरी ट्रबल्स कफ एन्ड कोल्ड। एन्ड सतुवा पेरिस पोलिफाइला 1800 देखि 3300। ओसे भने सतुवा अफ प्लास्टी अफ द रूट इज एप्लाइड टु कट्स एन्ड वोन्ड। पाइस of the root are feed to cattle with diarrhea and dysentery. Okay. सुगन्धवाल भलेरियाना जटामसी 1500 देखि 3600। जुसे भलेरियाना जटामसी जुसे। हेडेक आई ट्रबल सोर थ्रोट इंडिकेशन एन्ड वोन्ड। सुनपाती रोडोडेन्ड्रम एन्थोपोगन 3500 देखि 5100। असे अगस्त सेप्टेम्बर सुनपाती असे। लिभर एन्ड लङ डिजिज इंडिकेसन सोर थ्रोट एन्ड फ्लेमा डिजिज अल्सो युज एज एपिन्टिज डियोरेटिक भोमिटिङ। टिमुर जेन्थोजाइलम अर्माटम 1100 देखि 2500। औ अगस्त अक्टोबर टिमुर औ। स्टोमैचिक एन्ड एन्थेलमेटिक फेभर एन्ड डायस्पेसिस डियोडोरेट डिसइन्फेक्शन एन्ड एन्टिसेप्टिक use in dental trouble and scalpel fruit contain essential oil and spice. Okay. And बेल एग्ले मार्मोलस भनेको बेल 100 देखि कति त 100 देखि 1100। एग्ले मार्मोलस हेल्पफुल इन डायरिया एन्ड डायसेन्ट्री। अमला 1500 150 देखि 1400। गुड लिभर टनिक रिच इन भिटामिन सी। त्यो आर्पागन्ध सर्पगन्ध राउल्फिया सर्पेन्टिना 100 देखि 800। 100 देखि 800 सर्पगन्ध। रुट इज युज इन हाई ब्लड प्रेसर। निम एडोडिरेक्टा इन्डिका चाहिँ निम, यो पनि सेभ फ्रम माउथ टर्माइट्स टु सब्सटेन्स। यार्सा गुम्बा कार्डिसेप साइनेन्सिस 3900 देखि 4500। त्यसपछि कलेक्ट पार्ट्स होल प्लान्ट रोयल्टी रेट। होल प्लान्ट चाहिँ कलेक्सन होल प्लान्ट के चिगुया गोसु चिराइतो गुचिच्याउ यार्सा गुम्बा घोटाब्रे र सुन गाभार सुनखरी है। यिनको चाहिँ चिराइतोको रोयल्टी रेट 15, मार्चेला कोनिकाको 500, गुचिच्याउ ओफियोकर्डिसिस साइनेन्सीको 31,000, यार्सा गुम्बा घोटाब्रे सेन्टेला एसाइटिका 2 रुपियाँ, सुनगाभा चाहिँ अर्चिड चाहिँ 500 रुपियाँ। बार्क है त, बार्कको कुरा छ। बार्क चाहिँ लोक्ता अर्गेली र अल्लो। लोक्ता डाफ्ने भालु डाफ्ने पारिरासिया 5 रुपियाँ। इडगार्थिया गार्डेनेरी 7 रुपियाँ। त्यसपछि गिराडियना डाइभर्सिफोलिया 5 रुपियाँ अल्लो है त। त्यसपछि भोजपत्र बेटुला उत्तिलिस 20 रुपियाँ। बर्रो हर्रो टर्मिलिया बेलेरिका र चेबुला हर्रो 200 रुपियाँ। अब लिप चाहिँ लोते दा सुतिद। लोटसल्ला तेजपात दालचिनी सुनपाती तितेपाती धसिङ्रे। टेक्सास वालिचिना 50 रुपियाँ। 50 रुपियाँ। तेजपात 3 रुपियाँ। नेपाली दालचिनी 10 रुपियाँ। सुनपाती रोडोडेन्ड्रोन एन्थोफोन 7 रुपियाँ। धसिङ्रे गाउल्थिरिया फ्राग्रेन्टिसिमा 2 रुपियाँ। रूट एन्ड पल्प जकुसु पसबी सबोटी ओके। जटामसी भुत्ले नार्दोस्टाची जटामसी 75 रुपियाँ। कुटकी नियोपाइको राइजे स्क्रोफुलारी फ्लोरा 40 रुपियाँ। सुगन्धवाला भलेरियाना जटामसी 25 रुपियाँ। पदमचाल रेओम अस्ट्राली 5 रुपियाँ। सतुवा पेरिस पोलिफाइला 50 रुपियाँ। बिक एकोनिटोब स्पेक्टाम 10 रुपियाँ। सर्पगन्ध राउल्फिया सर्पेन्टिना 50 रुपियाँ। बोजो एकरस क्यालामस 5 रुपियाँ। टिमुर जेन्थोजाइलम हर्माटम 10 रुपियाँ। एन्ड फ्रुट ओके। फ्रुट टिरिजा चिरी। टिमुर जेन्थोजाइलम अर्माटम 10 रुपियाँ। रिमला फाइलान्थस इम्ब्लिका अमला हो 2 रुपियाँ। डालेचुक हिपोफिया स्यालिचिफोलिया हिपोफिया तिब्बतेना 5 रुपियाँ। चिउरी डाक्लोनेमा बुटिरासिया 3 रुपियाँ। रिट्ठा सपिन्डस म्युकोरोजी 3 रुपियाँ। सोर्स एनटिआरपी इन्भेन्टरी गाइडलाइन 2069 एन्ड फरेस्ट रेगुलेसन 2007। प्रोटेक्टेड अर्को छ प्रोटेक्टेड प्लान्ट अफ नेपाल। नेपालमा प्रोटेक्टेड स्पिसिस ब्यान्ड फर कलेक्सन युज एन्ड डिस्ट्रिब्युसन ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन एक्सपोर्ट होइन। 5 औँले र ओखर डाक्टिलोराइजा हेटाडिया र जुग्लान्सरेजिया अर्चिडाजिया फ्यामिली र जुग्लान्ड्रिया हाई हिल र मिडिलमा चाहिँ ओखर हाई हिलमा 5 औँले। स्पिसिस ब्यान्ड फर दुईवटा मात्र रहेछन्। स्पिसिस ब्यान्ड फर एक्सपोर्ट विथआउट सेमी प्रोसेसिङ है, सेमी प्रोसेसिङ बिना चाहिँ एक्सपोर्ट गर्न नहुने 8वटा रहेछन्। तालिसपत्र एबिस स्पेक्टाबिलिस पानासिया हाई हिलमा, सुगन्ध कोकिला एन्ड सिनामोमम ग्लाउकोसेन्सिस लाउरासिया मिडिल, झ्याउ लैचेन्स अल, जटामसी नर्थ इस्टर्न ग्रेनेड फ्लोरा भलेरियाना मिडिलमा, सर्पगन्ध राउभिया सर्पेन्टिला एपोकाइनासिया तराई, शिलाजित एस्फालान्टम रक एक्जिड्युट एपोकाइनम हाई हिल, सुगन्धवाला भलेरियन जटामसी भलेरियाना मिडिल, लोथ सल्ला टेक्सस बकटा टेक्सस मिडिल, टिम्बर ट्री ब्यान फर फिलिङ ट्रान्सपोर्टेसन एन्ड एक्सपोर्ट साल 4वटा, सतीसाल र विजयसाल र ओखरो, सोरियर अवस्था डायप्टेराइज तराई, सतीसाल डोलबर्गिया ल्याटिफोला फाबासिया, विजयसाल टेरोकार्पस मार्सिफियम फाबासिया सब तराईमा, ओखर जुग्लान्स र जुग्लान्डिया मिडिलमा। त्यसपछि गएर ऱ्यापिड फायर इम्पोर्टेन्ट फेस फ्याक्ट स्पिसिस विथ एक्सेसिभ रेजिन or oil is unfit for painting or polishing work. Irritating sawdust are generally given by Albizia labic, swinging with Terminalia and Terminalia alata. Hot wood is harder than soft wood, absolutely correct. And slow grown coniferous timber is harder than fast grown wood of same species. Dry wood is harder than green wood. Resinous gumby substance increase the hardness. Moisture content of tree vary from 50 देखि 200%. Air dry timber have moisture content of 8 to 15% and moisture content in plywood 8 देखि 10%. Moisture content in well seasoned wood is 10 देखि 12%. Tracid is only found in conifer forest, TC, and vessel is absent. Kusum produce the best quality. Okay, lac. Okay, त्यसपछि छ Boucherie process is used for the treatment of sapwood of almost all green timber and the hardwood of easily treatable species in the form of poles and posts. Bamboo होइन, फिङ्गरिङ Boucherie process, bamboo process, bamboo. Finished products, okay, finished products are 10-22% more valuable than general timber. Filling by root species are Santalum album and Acacia catesu and Zuglansteria. Filling by root species. Rosin and turpentine factory in Koilali 2036. The transport continues about 30 days of a shorter percent if the total cost of delivery of the product in the market. The plant part that is used in northeastern Flora is whole. The Chiraito is biennial. The best time of collection of Atsagumai before monsoon. The renowned Chiraita trade zone in Nepal is Eastern Development Region. The part used for medicinal plant purpose of Sarab Edat Basica is leaves. The wintergreen oil, okay, wintergreen oil used in local irritant as antiseptic is obtained from the leaf of Gaultheria fragrantissima. What is the conservation status of Chiraito in IUCN list? IUCN मा चिराइतो vulnerable. The common habitat of Kutki of Nepal's rocky slopes. The approximate time for harvesting Jatamas is O day. The number of districts that have been launched with a special program or promoting anti-happy cultivation and management by SPCL is 25. The threatened status IUCN of species Rauwolfia serpentata is endangered. Rauwolfia serpentata is endangered. The part which is used and is useful of Aconitum species is tuber. The largest resin collection site of Nepal is West Karnali River. Okay, the anti species which is used locally to increase the milk yield from cattle is Kurillo. Which of the following anti is reported to be helpful in dissolving kidney stone is Pachaule. Pakhanbed. The active alkaloid reserve pine is obtained from Rauwolfia. Okay, and the medicinal plant and anti policy were approved in September 4. Which of the following raw material is consumed by Bhirkuti paper mill? Mostly Eulaleuopsis pinnata. The scientific name for the rattan species locally known as panibel is okay, Canastenus. The leaf of Cactus bacala yield one of the following chemical which is used for anti-cancer drug making is Taxol. The recommended Katha manufacturing season is November Katha. In the traditional country method of obtaining Katha and Kach, the hardwood of Acacia catechu is boiled for a period 12 hours. Okay, these are the beautiful season.